To receive my upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Like our perspective.
Well, hello and welcome. Let me give you guys my face. That would be nice, right? All right, let's see. Okay. I just want to say welcome, everybody. We are looking at a few things tonight. And listen, I think it's important for us to note something. We are digging into this case because it's important for us to understand how important it is in the scheme of things. It's not that we care about who slept with who. None of that, it's of no consequence who slept with who. We don't care. The deal is that these particular things, and these glasses are specifically for the computer, so they're going to make me look like limpet. I see that now, but it's okay. As long as I can read, we're good. But the deal is that this case is really important because it does not necessarily have anything to do with the fact that somebody slept with somebody or the fact that somebody tampered with the election. And because of the tampering, we're going to go after this person. It doesn't have anything to do with that. And see, that's where we get into some danger zones by putting that particular marker, whether it be we want him to get got or we want her to get him. This is a situation that allows you to look into the ethical piece of the law. What are the points that you can and you can't do? What is the law? What is the particulars as it relates to bringing on somebody in a case like this? Are you able to take kickbacks? And what is a kickback? If you are a DA and you hire somebody, and then later on, you end up taking or receiving things from them. These are very important and pivotal reasons for me to have this conversation tonight. And here's why. Don't you know that it could be your family member? We're digging into a couple of things. We're going to look at the attorney for Jocelyn Wade. We're going to look at her. We're going to break that down. We're also going to look very closely at the fact that now, the question, is she up for impeachment? Pretty much. Should she just retire or just resign? You let me know what you think down below in the comments. And here we go. We're going to first look at this first situation. And that is that they have requested that Fani Willis and this young man testify. Listen, the other day, in a very smart move, but in an almost admitting move of admitting some type of impropriety, Nathan Wade decided, let's just go on ahead and, and finalize this whole thing. Let me go on ahead and just give you what you need. After 2 years of them going through a divorce, he finally decides to acquiesce and give the wife some support. Well, that didn't work. It did do something. It bought him a little bit of time, but February 15th is still coming. And in tandem with February 15th still coming, they still are now being asked to come and have a conversation. Let's take a look at that. They have now gotten a subpoena themselves. They've been subpoenaed. Okay. Is this an ad? I don't know. Let's see.
We now know that Fulton County DA Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade have been subpoenaed to testify on February 15th. This hearing is over claims that the two were involved romantically and financially benefited from the alleged relationship. We're also talking one-on-one to the divorce lawyer for Nathan Wade's estranged wife. One of the questions many of you asked is, does she actually have proof of this alleged improper relationship between Willis and Wade?
I received documents that indicated, as you've seen, that they have traveled together, ostensibly not for business purposes. I can't think of a business reason for them to have gone to Aruba or to Napa Valley. And we've issued subpoenas as a result of those documents that we received from Mr. Wade that have gone further.
All right, so here's what we know. The hearing later this month is tied to a motion seeking to disqualify the two from the Trump 2020 election interference case because of their alleged romantic relationship and financial ties. Information about the subpoenas surfaced in a lawsuit filed against the DA's office. It accuses Willis's office of refusing to provide information under the Open Records Act. The DA's office responded in a letter saying they followed state law. 1111 investigator Zach Merchant sat down one-on-one with attorney Andrea Hastings, who you just heard from. You can watch the full interview on our free 11 Alive Plus app that you can download on Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV.
First at 6, a brand new court.
All right, so we just saw that. What I'm going to lay out for us tonight, however, is some indiscretions and some things that perhaps Fani Willis should have known better. She should have known better. She should have known better. However, I've looked at some things that aren't really necessarily related to Trump per se, and based on what I've found is she does not have good judgment across the board, because let's just take a look at this. I'm really, really, really wondering what goes on in the individual's mind. But the lead prosecutor, let's go ahead and get into this. So now this gentleman, which is Nathan Wade, I'm going to give you guys the whole screen so that I can go ahead and narrate this for you. The lead prosecutor in Georgia's 2020 election interference case against former President Donald Trump dodged a hearing on Wednesday where he likely would have had to testify about an alleged improper relationship with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Why it matters? Well, unsubstantiated allegations that Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade had a relationship with Willis have jeopardized the high-profile case against the former president, who is seeking to have Willis and Wade disqualified and charges tossed. The hearing in Wade's pending divorce case was canceled late Tuesday after he reached a last-minute settlement with his estranged wife, multiple outlets reported. The arrangement staved off his testimony on the alleged relationship with Willis for now. And Mike Roman, we already know who Mike Roman is. And if you don't, let's just go on ahead and just play, as it states here, a quick catch up. Mike Roman, a Republican political operative and a co-defendant in the Georgia case, first made public the accusations of an improper relationship and alleged financial misconduct between Wade and Willis in a court filing in early January. After Roman's filing, Wade's estranged wife, Jocelyn Wade, divulged financial statements in a motion presented in the couple's divorce proceedings. The statements show Wade purchased two airline trips to Miami and San Francisco with Willis during the election probe, the Washington Post reported. Trump's legal team last week cited the allegations in a request to Judge Scott McAfee to dismiss the 13 counts against the former president in the sweeping racketeering case. McAfee scheduled an evidentiary hearing over the claims for February the 15th. It's of note that the judge in Wade's divorce proceedings ordered that its case records be unsealed. Now, the documents released so far do not appear to provide additional evidence of the alleged relationship between Wade and Willis. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Wade's legal team has also sought Willis's testimony through a subpoena. That request was stayed by the judge overseeing the divorce case until Nathan Wade testified, and him settling out the 2-year case is the reason why we're not seeing him go to court on this, if that makes sense. And so that's the reason why we're not going to necessarily see that. However, there is a strong chance that he and she, both being subpoenaed, will have to discuss the relationship at one point or another. Let's continue. The big picture, Willis has neither confirmed nor denied the accusations, but has maintained that she hired Wade as an outside prosecutor in the election case because he qualified for the position. Since he was hired, Wade has received roughly $650,000 in compensation from Willis's office, or a rate of $250 an hour. Former Georgia prosecutors previously told the New York Times that they did not find Wade's rate unusual. Wade was not Willis's only outside hire in the election case. She also brought on an outside expert on racketeering law and a high-profile state homicide prosecutor. I love the way that Axios put all of this, because the way that they did it was a little slanted, but it's okay because it did give us a better insight in the whole circumstance as it's laid out. It's also given you and I an opportunity to use this as a platform to build the rest of the information that I find go towards character or lack thereof as it relates to this young lady. Remember, this really isn't about the prurient sexual, so this isn't about their sexual escapades. It really is not. It is rather taking a peer or taking a look of you into the judicial system, not just of Atlanta, but what could possibly be going on elsewhere as it relates to your cases, as it relates to the family members that you have that have been incarcerated, as it relates to other individuals. These are some of the things that I venture to say are specific tactics that are used all the time, because it's a very small world, isn't it? Being in, the legal field, even though it's vast, even though it's wide, it's still small, especially within communities. In other words, you can see somebody who is a defense attorney or somebody who's been assigned by the state to be a state court-appointed attorney for somebody who doesn't have any representation. Well, they happen to know the other side as well. As a matter of fact, some of them have worked on the other side. And so it gets you to see and to understand that these types of cases are very important for us to study and look at, because this could be you, it could be me, it could be your cousin Willie, it could be Brother Bobo, it could be Billy Bob, it don't matter who it is, but these are very, very serious allegations. These actual allegations, if proved out, believe it or not, are felony. Believe it or not, to have monies given to an attorney that the state is paying for, or the county, I should say, in this case, is paying for, only for you to receive something, a benefit from it, this quid pro quo type of mindset, that is a felony, and you could go to jail for it. So it's very, very important for us to keep our eyes on this, not from the aspect of the political piece. That's an obvious something obvious in the whole conversation, right? Because we can't escape that. But I find that it's very important for us to look at it from how it could affect our lives. In tandem with that, I do want to look at this young lady's situation, which you probably are already aware of. There is an ex-employee, and you may be aware of it, but I want to take a listen to this together. All right. We're going to take a listen to this. And here is why it's important, because again, it goes to the character, it goes to the foundation, it goes to the template, the foundation of this woman's mind and how she deals with business. Being an attorney that's a DA, that's a person who could go on to become a judge. So here's the pivotal piece. If this individual could go on to be a judge, isn't it important to understand that they would have to be fair and impartial? Isn't it a quality, or isn't it a requirement that they learn how to look at just the merits of a situation and not necessarily the people? Because justice is supposed to be blind, right? These days, justice is in the hands of the public opinion, which is the reason why we're steering the ship a little bit today to look specifically at the laws and how they affect you, how they affect me, because Atlanta is a type. Atlanta is a type of state. Atlanta is a type of situation for all of us to see. let's get into this story. Apparently, there was a young lady, and this young lady was fired after she revealed and blew a whistle that there was something going on and that there was something awry. This young lady also gave a warning to Fani. And let's get ahead. Let's go ahead and let's just look at this. Let me give you the full screen on this one as well. Now, the employee who blew the whistle on the misuse of federal funds. This is the young lady right here. Her name is Amanda Timpson. She went on to have another job, and I did follow up on where she is now. Fani Willis may have fired the employee who warned her about mishandling federal funds, but she didn't deny her allegations. Less than a year into her tenure as Fulton County District Attorney in 2021, Willis met with Amanda Timpson, an employee in the District Attorney's Office responsible for giving nonviolent juvenile offenders alternatives to the juvenile court system. During their conversation, a recording which was reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon, Timpson claimed to Willis that she had been demoted after attempting to stop a top Willis campaign aide from misusing federal grant money meant for youth gang prevention initiative, a youth gang prevention initiative. According to Timpson, the aide, Michael Cuffy, planned to use a part of the $488,000 federal grant earmarked for the creation of a youth center. Keep your eyes on what the money was earmarked for, because that's important. The money was earmarked for the creation of a center of youth empowerment and gang prevention to pay for swag, computers, and travel. This is what he wanted to do. The money was earmarked for the creation of a youth empowerment and gang prevention. And instead, he wanted to use it to pay for swag and computers and travel. Swag, computers, and travel. Okay? Why is that important? Well, it's important because if we don't look at the fact that this young man wanted to take the monies and do the wrong thing with it, then we're going to lose sight of it altogether. Why? The whole piece is important. He had enough chutzpah to think that no one had any authority over him. He had enough mindset to say, it doesn't matter what somebody above me says, I'm going to do what I want to do. But where did he get that from? This was in 2021. What had he seen going on around him that would allow him to think that he had that type of liberty? Let's continue, and then we're going to listen to this young lady's words. It goes on to say that he wanted, this is a quote, he wanted to do things with the grant that were impossible. And I kept telling him, she says, we can't do that. Timpson told Willis in a November 19th, 2021 meeting. She continues, he told everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. She says, quote, I said, you cannot do that. It's a very specific grant. She says, I respect that is your assessment. This is Willis' response. I respect that is your assessment, Willis responded. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. Later in a conversation, Willis apologized to Timpson and said that Cuffy had failed her administration. Less than 2 months later, Willis abruptly terminated Timpson and had her escorted out of the office by 7 armed investigators, according to Timpson. When Timpson filed a whistleblower complaint the following year that alleged wrongful termination, Willis's office issued a statement describing Timpson as a holdover from the primary administration. Let me turn off this space heater, you guys. Hold on. All right. Thank you guys. She described Timpson as a holdover from the prior administration who was terminated because of her failure to meet standards of the new administration. Let me get myself on the screen. So if somebody comes in there and tells what's going on that's wrong, they are not keeping up with your administration. They're the bad guy. This is telling you guys something very important for those of us who are trying to take sides in this and trying to turn it into a right against left, or a Democrat against Republican, or a, us against Trump, or Trump against us. We don't give a rip about any of that, because you guys already know I don't vote anymore. And I'm not into that tit for tat. But what I am saying is, this is very telling. And here, we're going to listen to this young lady. Let me give you guys the full screen again. We're going to go in and listen. All right. So again, she says that she described Timpson as a holdover from the prior administration who was terminated because of her failure to meet the standards of the new administration. Timpson's experience sheds further light on how Willis, who campaigned on the promise of restoring integrity to the district attorney's office, does business. This young lady has come under fire amid revelations that she taped her lover, Nathan Wade. She tapped, not taped, to handle the officer's racketeering case. I don't want to get into that. I want to stay on Timpson. Got all that. I understand. This person had to put up what they had to put up so they can get the credit for the story that they were supposed to do. So let's see. Let's listen. Let's listen.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. Took me off Junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact, Mr. Cuffy respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffy were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffy, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, oh, you think your word is safe. And exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR, and he put Dexter's name on my PDP, and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear what she said? Did you just hear what she said? We're going to finish listening. She said, I told him. He came to me and told me, and I'm going to paraphrase. He came to me and told me, you don't think I know everything that you say to her? Primarily, you can go run and tell this. See, this is the reason why he felt like he could do this. This is the reason why he felt like he could do it, because he knew he had her in his back pocket. That's why he felt confident that he could stand there and say what he wanted to say, and that you can do whatever you want to do. I'm untouchable. Don't you know that, girl? It don't matter what you say to her. She gonna come and tell me, so you may as well run and tell that. Do you understand what I'm sharing and how pivotal this is as it relates to the character of the hierarchy? Remember what we said last week when we said that the person at the top, it only bleeds down. So if that little bit of corruption that you think is something big, baby, there's a whole lot more corruption that's up under that. And this is evidence of that. Let's finish listening to this young lady's heart-wrenching story. And my impression, it is a heart-wrenching story. Let's get on with this.
What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffy. You were safe to go those places.
Okay. That is very serious. That has nothing to do with Trump. That has nothing to do with any of these people. Nothing. That has everything to do with her level of leadership and how she protects her people. Now, you remember last week, Sandy sent me that article. Let me close the window because I had to turn the heater off and let some of that heat out. This young lady was suffering while she was speaking. She was really pleading. You could hear her either hitting her hand or tapping on something that was flesh. Could have been her elbow, could have been her hand. This young lady was horrified. She did not want to come and bring it. But did you hear the caution from this young lady? This young lady said, and I'm quoting, I'm not going to quote, I'm going to paraphrase, he's going to be dangerous to your administration. He is going to be dangerous to your administration. Doesn't that remind you of somebody who has done something wrong to you? You know, it's like the physical assaulter. And what they've done is they go and say, you can go around and tell anybody you want. They ain't going to believe you. You ain't nothing but a little kid. Ain't nobody going to believe you. I'm a pastor and you ain't nothing but an usher. They ain't going to believe you. Do you see that spirit? That's terrible. But even though it has nothing to do with this particular situation that she's now got herself enthralled in, it goes to show that she does not do the things that are right or fair to the people who lean on her. That little girl did not have to lose her job. Now you've come out and perjured yourself by saying the reason why you don't have her anymore working under you is because she was a holdover from another administration that basically didn't want to play the way that you want them to play. And the sad part is if this young lady came to you and told you about impropriety, things that could get you in trouble with the federal government, things that can actually have the federal government put another overseer over your county, if they had to, if they keep seeing this type of stuff go on with one grant after another grant. Listen, I worked on a grant with a client it was about a year ago this year. Yeah, it was about a year ago this year. It started in the fall of the year before. And I was the one that was tasked as the project manager. I was tasked to look at everything and make sure that everybody stayed in compliance with all of the federal laws, all of the local laws, because what happens is the federal government will give monies to the states, and then the states will take those monies and they will allow everybody to do a bid. And so long story short, I know, and it was actually under FEMA, and I had to sit through hours and hours of their explanations of you can't do this, you can't do that, you won't be able to do this. If we see this, then this is what's going to happen. You can't use this. You have to use this person. You can't use that person. This person has to have this, and this person has to have that. And there's a lot of particulars. And so what ends up happening is that once these grants are started, once the grants start to roll, you've got to make sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed, and that it matches specifically with all specificity what it is that they want to be done. And if you shade outside of that and they find out, well, of course, there are penalties. But you see, this shows us that she does not accept wise counsel. Because even though this young girl was younger than her, and she actually did move on to another job, I did research and found where she's working now. But even though she was younger than her, she still has some good common sense enough to say, hey, look, I'm not even talking to you in this regard. I'm talking to you from a woman to a woman. This man is dangerous for your administration. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire you in a month and a half to 2 months. That'll help you. That'll learn you. That'll learn you, because eventually she felt like you're going to cause me some problems. She caused herself the problems. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look again at some more, because there are a couple of other things here. Very curious, something happened yesterday. Very curious. I'm going to look at this. Hold on. You guys may have seen this, but to me, it's very curious. Very, very unique. They had a cyber attack there, the district attorney's office there in Fulton County. Let's get a
Over the weekend, a cyber attack hit government servers in Fulton County, Georgia, impacting the office of District Attorney Fani Willis, who is prosecuting the Georgia election interference case against former President Trump. NBC News senior national politics reporter Jonathan Allen is here with the latest for us. John, good morning. Great to have you with us. So tell us what happened here. How big of an impact did the cyber attack have there, as well as throughout the whole county?
Yeah, good morning, Dream Team. We don't know a ton about the cyber attack, in part because officials are still, I think, trying to figure out what happened. Certainly, they have not said everything that they might say about what happened. It is not clear entirely whether this case against Donald Trump is affected in any way. What authorities in Georgia are saying, according to our colleague Blaine Alexander, who did great reporting here, is that they are not aware at this point of any sensitive information about citizens that has been compromised, and Fani Willis's office has not said anything at all. They're declining to comment. So I think we may have to just take a breath here and pause and see what comes out of all the searches that they're doing to make sure that nothing was retrieved or misappropriated.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
Okay, and that was actually where we got the information from, that particular station, that particular channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. Now, I do want to let you see this young man that was mentioned. His last name was Cuffy. Let's take a gander at this gentleman. I want you guys to see him. Michael A. Cuffy is his name. But I want us to take a look at him. So I found one story. We're also going to pull up another story. Very important, because there was something that he was involved in as it relates to a young man that was in a juvenile program. He's in a juvenile program. Here is his LinkedIn. It is a public page. But I want to show you guys this. I'm going to read the story to you first, and then we're going to go into the... Here he is. Let me show you his face first. Let's look at him. This is him, Michael L. Cuffy. Okay. Mr. Cuffy, it says here on his LinkedIn page, leadership and management consultant, certified court manager, justice system recruiter, social media account management. These are his attributions. These are the things that he's done. Here is the name of the company that he owns, very appropriately, Cuffy Creative Media. Okay. He says that I am about forward-thinking, results-oriented professional with a wealth of experience and expertise in leadership and management. My skill set encompasses exceptional communication, teaching, facilitation, collaboration, and liaison abilities. My organizational prowess, complemented by strong time management and research skills, has facilitated my successful management of concurrent projects while ensuring the efficient accomplishment of mission-critical objectives. I take pride in upholding unwavering standards of professionalism, integrity, and ethical principles. Just let it sink there. That's all. Just let it sink. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Now we're going to go to the New York Post story about the involvement with the firing of this young lady. So Trump prosecutor Fani Willis fired the worker who exposed alleged $500,000 of federal grant abuse. Okay, we just got to listening to that. But I want to show you the story that there was a man that he was actually representing that was up for some type of abuse of a child, allegedly. And I'm saying allegedly without the story present. Let's see. She looks so unbothered every time I see her. It's such a sad state. I don't even want to talk about her tonight. But this is important for us to look at how the house is built. Is the house built on quicksand, or is the house built on something strong? The house looks like it's built on quicksand and it's shrinking swiftly. Let me show you the gentleman of Mr. Cuffy. Let me get into the history here and bring this up. You who may live in Atlanta may be aware of this. I don't know. But I certainly hope that if you are, you'll, give us your information and let us know about it. Let us know. Okay. Let's see. He was in court. All right. Okay. In Atlanta. Hope you all are doing nice as I try to buy a little time. Okay, here it is. This was back in 2015. Now, DirecTV Uverse. Okay, I don't know what that is. All right, so this is what he was dealing with back then. So let me read this story to you. Here it is. This is the guy. This is the guy that was working with him, juvenile court intake supervisor. All right. Yeah, good. You got the whole screen. All right. So now authorities investigated allegations that a DeKalb juvenile court worker molested young boys. The DeKalb County Police launched their investigation on March 3rd, 2014, after meeting with DeKalb Juvenile Court Administrator Michael Cuffy. According to the report, Cuffy called the police after an employee told him a male supervisor had inappropriately touched boys in the past. Now, it goes on to say that the police report listed the employee at the center of the investigation as Gerald Brown. At the time, Brown was an intake supervisor. He no longer works for the agency. DeKalb police closed their case against Brown in April of 2014 because of insufficient probable cause. Now, let's stop and let's do the math because you guys are intelligent. We all think pretty good. If it says it was not probable cause, they didn't have enough. It didn't mean that it did not happen. Am I correct in my assessment, you guys? Just because they said that they didn't have enough information, that doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen. Am I correct in that? Am I on the right page there? Okay. All right. So let's see. A source. Now that I've made it larger, that's not cool. Okay, here we go. The initial police report read, on a recent occasion, Mr. Brown had a little boy in his office, and the little boy has his blank out. And Mr. Brown touched the boys in the past, but had not done it recently. It went on to say that others who work in the juvenile court center are aware of past allegations involving the same employee. One person with alleged past knowledge of the juvenile Chief Justice Desiree Pegler. The report, what is this? Why are you here? Go away. Okay. The report says 2 county employees told the police Judge Desiree Pegler might have information in reference to the recent investigation regarding the previous allegations on Mr. Brown. Now, I would imagine that he worked under this gentleman Cuffy because he was the one who was over the department, right? Right. So it goes on to say that Pegler, that's her name, Pegler, had not responded to any request for comment. In March of 2014, Byfield stopped by Brown's office. He was in his driveway when she and a photographer pulled up in a Channel 2 Action News Live truck. Within minutes, Brown backed out of his driveway. The crew attempted to follow him and honked and waved at Brown, but he didn't stop. Eventually, Byfield caught up with Brown at a red light, and he told her that he did not want to speak and sped off. Detectives interviewed the current and past juvenile court employees. When Byfield contacted Cuffy about the allegations, he told her no comment. Remember who Cuffy is. He's the man who's over the juvenile, department handling the said grant that we were just looking at. It says a few hours later, Cuffy emailed her a statement saying allegations have come to our attention regarding the actions of a juvenile court employee. The employee has been placed on administrative leave without pay pending the outcome of a police investigation. Any additional details can be provided by the DeKalb County Police. Brown was removed after Byfield called. Now, the news company went through Brown's personnel file and found mostly glowing remarks. When you say mostly glowing remarks, you need not say mostly. You need to say what you saw. We saw good and bad, but none were dealing with what we're talking about. Does that make sense? If you're going to tell the story, we saw mostly glowing remarks. Okay, so if they saw mostly glowing remarks, that means that there was some stuff that's going on that nobody else saw. They all knew this. That's what it tells me. It tells me they all knew this and everybody was trying to cover it up. They all knew this and everybody else was trying to cover up. I'm fanning back, you guys. I'm going back because I do want to see some more to see what else was here. Oh, no, this was from 2022. Okay. So this was a lawsuit. Huh. Okay, from the same young lady. Hopefully you guys can keep your eye on that. From the same young lady. This was dated August 31st, 2022. She actually filed a lawsuit. A former employee of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office has filed a whistleblower's lawsuit saying that she was wrongfully terminated for uncovering misused funds. Amanda Timpson sued Fulton County DA Fani Willis on Monday, according to records from the Fulton County Superior Court. In addition to the allegations of misappropriated grant funds, Timpson says one of Willis's subordinates racially discriminated against her for having a natural hairstyle. Well, they didn't need to put that in. Well, I'm not going to unlock it and I'm not going to pay you for anything, so you can keep that, but I will read on to where I can stop. A spokesman for the DA's office gave the following comment about the unproven allegations, and this is where that holdover statement comes from. This employee was a holdover from the prior administration. Management attempted to find a role that she could fill, but was unsuccessful after transferring within the office 3 times. All of her supervisors found her performance to be inadequate. Her failure to meet the standards of the new administration led to her termination. We have not been served with the lawsuit and will not comment further except in court. Okay? So this particular group is used to having these kinds of conversations and having these kind of allegations. Yeah. You heard that recording. You heard that recording. Here is what I feel about the recording, and here is what I feel about all of this other stuff. The way that I feel about them saying that she was XYZ is of no consequence, because that lady's voice and the way that she was talking to her, telling her that this man was doing all of these things, and every time I spoke up in this department, they moved me. And every time I spoke up about things wrong in this department, they moved me. Every time I said something, they moved me. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. There's a problem there. A male thief caught on camera. Lord of mercy. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to leave this part alone at this point, because to me, I don't know, you guys. Oh, these glasses are weird. They're just for the computer. They're not my regular glasses. I feel like I'm that little mouse. Boo! Anyway, but that's what they're for. They're for me to read, to help me read a little better. I don't know what else to say, you all. I do believe that, yes, they have asked that she go on ahead and say peace out. I want to read this. What do you guys think about this? How does this whole situation fare with the Trump case? Who cares? What it does do is it opens up a lot of the other things that she had some impropriety, or that they alleged that she had some stuff going wrong. It opens that up. That way she's going to go back and start to have some cases just a little bit more uncovered to see what she had going on at the time of that case. It's just going to open up a whole bunch of ninnies to run out there and say, hey, she prosecuted me, and I believe that there was something going on. Let's see what happens. But there is a situation that I do want to look at where she herself, I don't see it here, but there was a situation there in Georgia where she was then deciding, hey, I am going to go after this guy because of something that he did, but yet and still we found out that she was literally campaigning for this man. I think was it Lieutenant Governor? The Lieutenant Governor there in Georgia? And yet she was doing campaigning for the opposite guy, his competition. And then she wanted to make him testify and pull him up. But they said, oh, no. You can't do any of that, my friend. You can't do none of that because you have a conflict of interest. I think that if there's anything to be left of that case, they both need to step down. But what do you think about the fact that the office just had that cyber attack? What documents do you think are going to be gone? What was it that they had to have a cyber attack so conveniently that affected that office? It affected that office. This owie is unattractive. But what do you think it was? Do you think that they snatched some information out of those files and then they had to say, oh, well, it was a breach? There's something to consider there. Fani Willis's office and the Fulton County was hit by a cyber attack just last night. So what about that? What do you think about that? What do you think was in there? What do you think was in there? That's a good question. But yes, she was removed. She was removed. She was not allowed. Hold on, let me show you. She was not allowed to do her thing. Some interesting stuff here. Interesting. I don't want to go into that though, because that's going to open a totally different can of worms, and we can wait for that another time. Listen, what we are going to do is switch reels tomorrow night because I want to look at Texas, but I don't want to look at the whole hoopla and the fanfare and all that stuff. I want to look at New York. Because I do want to talk about the fact that you can't go around here and beat up no popo without them throwing you in jail. Your mama nim or your wife nim or your husband nim, NEM, they're going to have to go and put the house up. They're going to have to hold a prayer chain and kill a few chickens and get out there and fry some chickens and save some money to pull up enough money to save your soul from going to jail after you have beat up and accosted 2 police officers. One, a lieutenant, and another one, somebody who's helping. Dark Lake Revived, I absolutely adore your work. Hello, kind sir, and welcome. So they have found that these individuals there, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of a preview because I want you to tell me what you think about the whole thing. These young men beat up, it was a group of 12, and they only confiscated a handful of them. But can you go and beat up a police officer? Because these people did. They kicked and stomped and slapped and did all that. And then when they got arrested, guess what? They were released. It's like that to me is just very annoying. It reminds me of going fishing with somebody who doesn't know how, and all they want to do is catch and release to save the fish. Catch and release. They caught him and they released him without bail, without bond. Where does that happen? How can you physically assault police officers, beat them down, beat up a lieutenant and the woman that was with him or the person that was with him, beat them both up? You didn't mean to do it. It's okay. You did not mean to do it. That's all right. We understand. We're here for you. And now that we see that you didn't mean to do it, we're going to go ahead and just let you out. Don't worry. I know that you don't have a permanent address here in the United States. The only thing that you have are the shelters that we've turned from 5-star hotels and 4-star hotels to give you to have a place to lay your weary head. And you don't have to worry about even showing up again, because we know we can't find you once you are into the interior of the United States. This is a war, people. And it's been going on for a while, from the inside out. This has nothing to do with disliking a specific group of people. Please get your heads out of the sand with that one. Please don't bring me that. Have somebody says, well, you know what? I don't like the way you're headed. I don't like what you've got to say about this. I don't care whether it's right, left, purple, green, yellow. When people come into the country, they need to follow the laws. Hey, ask China, ask Russia. Ask any other country that believes in the rule of law if you can just go over there and do what you want to do. Don't even ask the country. You can just ask Brittany. What is it, Griner? Ask her. Ask those basketball kids from UCLA if you can go in any other country and do whatever you want and not be held accountable. Here. Ask them about this. Am I wrong in what I'm saying here? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think that there's a definite issue here. There's a definite issue here, and if we can't see it, then we really do have a problem. We really have an issue. We got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. The problem is I can't go to another country and do whatever I want to do. If I try to go to Russia right now and do something wrong, they're not going to like it. If I decide that I want to go to Dubai and strip my clothes off, ooh, don't want to see that. But if I decide to strip them all off in the middle of the court, the square, it's my freedom of speech. I am woman, hear me roar. I want to show it all off. Poof, 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 pow, 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 poof, poof. I'm an American. I got rights. Don't you see that mindset to go to other countries and cut amok and cut a fool and run amok? Don't you see that the mindset to go to other countries and do that is closely related to the way the judicial system here is in the United States? But it's okay for them. It ain't okay for you. You let Pookie and them in the black neighborhood go out there and do that to the police. The place that had the frisk them, risky, frisk them. Frisky, risky. Frisk them, and then you can let them go. Frisk them, pet them down, and then you can take them to jail. You don't have to have a reason to frisk them. It's going to keep the community safe. So just frisk everybody. Cart them out to jail if they say anything wrong that you don't agree with. When they in protest say you do not have a right to touch my person or to investigate what's in my pockets without probable cause, throw them in jail, kick them, stomp them, hit them in the head, knock them out, choke them, chokehold them, pow, 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 get them in the back. He was running away. We got a runner. Pow, not anymore. Let's go have donuts. If you don't think this is a war, you better check it out. Because see, I'm going to tell you what the deal is. The deal, y'all don't leave me now. Hang on. Here's the real deal. These folks could not hold back. You see, they brought the worst of the worst here on purpose. They know something that we don't know. And that's the reason why they're acting out lawlessly. And the reason why they're allowing them to leave is because it's too soon. Felipe, Jose, Umbopo, it's too soon. Don't cut up. You're not supposed to do that yet. We haven't sound the invisible, the non-sound dog whistle that only you can hear. We haven't like a cop car. We ain't sound a dog whistle yet. So you guys are out of order. Now we're going to get you out of jail this time here. But you better not cut up again. Because, we brought you here. We paid for you to get here. And we can send you back. So that's the reason why they up there doing the bird. That's the reason why they up there running amok and looking at the cops like, yeah, what you going to do? You ain't got no idea who I am. They all looking at him like, you ain't got no idea who I am. What you going to do? That's why they looking like that. That's why they go in jail and come right out. Like the story we covered about a year and a half ago coming out of California where there were drug traffickers with enough fentanyl to kill the city of Sacramento. The city of Sacramento and bleed over into Oakland. These cats were picked up the night before and their truck, they were allegedly from Washington State. They were going through California. They let these 3 cats go. 2 cats specifically that were driving the vehicle that had all of this stuff. And they let them out the next day. The police said that they could not figure out why they let these people go. Do the math and put it together. Use your critical thinking. This would not be allowed but for the borders being wide open. Listen, folks, I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. I see everybody here tonight. Did anybody give this evening? We don't have a sponsor of the show. Let me scroll up and see if we have a sponsor, because as I was working, I could have easily missed it. Anybody that has given $5 or $10 via Super Chat or Cash App. I know nothing came Cash App. I was looking for Super Chats. Would be considered one of the sponsors of our show tonight. And you will get a major shout out and appreciation for your donation. Okay. I'm glad I did not miss anyone. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I know. That's terrible. I saw that, Rage. It's terrible. Okay. I don't see. I didn't miss anyone. Okay. All right. I want you guys to remember that you need to take care of yourself, because if you don't do it, Black Spring got us in. Black Spring with Autumn is the sponsor of tonight's show, and I want to thank you so much. If you guys have not gone over to, this is just a sidebar to her blessing the channel. If you haven't gone to her channel, you need to. Please do. This is a very educated woman. If you have not gone to Black Spring with Autumn, go to her channel and check it out. You can also check out Betty R, and you can also check out Daryl. Derek, is he in there? Daryl, you see I'm reading your name. Okay. All right. You can also go to Derek C. Williams' channel. That's who I was recommending. Derek C. Williams had a group of us that were all together. And we've got another supporter of the channel tonight. Thank you so very much. Now, Betty R., you already know Betty R. I'm all over your Instagram page. You guys, please, 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 please go to Betty R's Instagram. This lady is throwing down knowledge. And if you're not a subscriber of hers, you cannot see her stuff. And they have prevented her from opening up her channel to the public. Because, baby, I'm telling you now, if they did, it would be on and popping. Please look for Betty R. Is that what it is on Instagram? Let me pull up her page for you. Because when I tell you, Betty is on to some good stuff. Is on to some good stuff. So let me go here and look for your good stuff right here. Betty R. I'm going to look for your page so everybody can see. When I tell you Betty R is on point. Everybody who comes through here is the bomb. It's MZ_RAMUS. MZ_RAMUS. Okay. Here it is. Can I let them see your page? I'm gonna let them see your page. Okay, you guys, this is one of our sponsors for tonight. Okay, Betty R. This is her page. Let's see what you got going here. Identical, aren't they? I haven't seen this one. Let me like this one. But nobody gets to go over here because they don't send any traffic. Her page, they will not let her to not make it private or something like that. Let's see what else we got here. What else did you do? The Red Fez Hatch Shriners. Oh, wow. There's a contrast and comparison for you. It does look just like that. They do go hand in hand, being that they're both red. This says,
to purchase my music outright. My entire catalog was sold to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in a deal that I'm told was funded by the Soros family, 23 Capital, and the Carlyle Group.
What?
Yet, to this day, none of these investors have ever bothered to contact me or my team directly to perform their due diligence on their investment in me, to ask how
wow.
I might feel about the new owner of my art.
Can you guys hear this?
Music I wrote.
Hold on, let me make sure you guys can hear this. Did you guys just hear this? Please put a 1 in the chat if you heard it. Betty, I did not know this. You can hear me, Betty? Yeah, y'all must be able to hear me because it's starting to make my connection wane. You mean to tell me Taylor Swift is saying that George Soros owns her music catalog? Wow. Wow. Okay, thanks, sis. My sister said you guys can hear me. Black Spring said y'all can hear me. All right, so come on, let me go ahead and finish this. Wow.
Videos I created, photos of me, my hand.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to like this one. This was from a day ago. But you guys, I'm telling you, look at this.
I'm telling y'all, Donald Trump is a Tartarian descendant. Take a look at.
Now, I don't want to play that because that, ooh, believe it or not, in the background, ooh, literally has a digital code in it, and they will zap my entire show for it. But it's okay. They zapped us the other night too. We just had to take it out, and then they were okay with it. But this kid is now 17, and he stands 6'7". Yeah, 17, and he stands 6'7". Yeah. So this guy saying that he's got some Tartarian blood in him, and there was a Tartarian flag, and it was a skull and crossbones, is what it was. All right, you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so very much to both of the sponsors for the show today. And that is none other than Black Spring with Autumn and our sister, Betty R. Thank you both for sponsoring the channel tonight. Thank you both for believing in the work that we do here at the Lockhart Perspective, as well as Headlines with a Voice. And so I appreciate you guys. But if you can, not shocked at all, a ton of musical artists are slaves to the limelight. In the limelight. Thank you, Derek. Derek is the reason why a lot of us actually sort of connected together. He was like the nucleus of a whole bunch of us connecting, and then he got jacked. You guys go over there and watch. He's unapologetic with the things that he has to say. He's unapologetic. He's just Derek. That's it. He's unapologetic. So go on over there and check him out as well. All right, you guys. I want you guys to remember that I love each and every one of you. Please make sure that you take care of yourselves, because as you know, if you don't, ain't nobody else going to take care of you. Nobody else going to take care of you. Allergies. Nobody else taking care of me. I had to take care of myself. You got to take care of yourself so that way I can help other people. And that's what I want you to do, to make sure before you go giving your last to somebody out there in the streets, the last of your energy, the last of your comments, the last of everything, take care of yourself first so that you have enough built up in you to help someone and make sure that person you're helping is worthy of it. You have to start to do that. You have to start to turn and cut people off. You've got to. There are some people that don't deserve your space. There are some people that don't deserve any of you. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve you to answer the phone. Some folks need to be left alone, whether it's family, hook, crook, no matter what it is. Some people just don't deserve you. They don't deserve you. Okay? Okay. So make sure you take care of yourself. And then when you're done doing that, make sure that you turn around and you take care of somebody else. And until we see one another again, I want you to make sure that you take care of my friend. Take real good care of my friend, because my friend is you. You take care. Peace. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.